If you haven't figured this out by now, computer science contains an awful lot of mathematics and algebra. Um, so these are the kind of the terms that computers can understand because it all really gets boiled down to math that the computer's doing with zeros and ones. So this is going to be a video that works with some percentages. Now, one of the expectations is that you will become adept this year in doing calculations and problems that use percentages to solve them. So we're going to create this program, call it percent. We'll do something else that's useful here. So we're going to be working with money in this. So we'll have double value, and it's going to be a price. Now, what we're going to do is we're also going to have the tax that'll be applied on something. So constant double tax, and we'll set this to 11%. So the way to represent a percentage as a decimal is to divide it by 100. So we're going to represent that as 11.11. That's 11%. This is an unnecessary comment, but this would be 11%. And that's what we're doing for that. So now we're going to do a cout. Enter the cost of your purchase. So whatever we're buying, the user is going to enter it here. So CN price. Okay. So the user is going to be entering the price. So now, after that is done, we are going to apply the tax. So remember, tax is going to be in all capital letters because it is a constant. It gets all of the conditions for a constant. We know its value at the beginning of the program. It's not going to change. And it has this 0.11 or 11% has a real world name or meaning. So that means the tax, so I'm going to call it tax. So now, what we're going to need to do is we need to increase the price by 11%, which is what the tax is doing. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to find what is 11% of the price. Move this up. So 11% of the price, this is figured out by taking the price times 11%. In programming terms, this is going to be like the price times 0.11. And then that's where we're going to get the 11%. But the thing is, that's not it. This will only give us the tax. It won't give us the full cost of the item. So what we have to do in this case is then we have to add on the tax to the price. We're going to do this all in one line of code. So we're going to start with the price. And this is where we're going to store the price of the item with the tax. And then what we'll do is we're going to have price get the value of the original price, but with the tax added on here. So this is where we're going to figure out the tax on that item. This is an actual code, but this is where we're going to put the tax. So we figure out how much the tax is on that item by taking the price of that item multiplied by 0.11. But in this case, of course, we have a name for it, so it's going to be tax, all capital letters, T-A-X. There we go. And then we're going to cout the final price. So final, and then we're going to put in price here. So I'm just going to set this to C++, and I'm going to run the program just to show you what we've got. So enter the price of the item. So the cost of the purchase, let's say it was $100. So 11% of 100 would be 11, so $111 is the final price. Now let's take a look at something a little smaller. So if I run this again, and I want to say like 320 is my price. So if you take a look at this, the final 3.552. So now it's not looking like a dollar amount anymore. So this is where I'm going to put in a fix for this that is going to keep my money values at 2 decimal places. So in order to do this, we have to put in an extra piece of code. And usually I put this at the beginning of the program. So after the variables are declared, this is a good place for formatting concerns. So what I want to do is I want to change cout so that it only displays numbers with 2 decimal places. So we're going to go cout dot. Now we're going to set formatting. So the keyword for that is setf, open parentheses. This is a line of code that I usually just copy and paste. So iOS is for the input-output stream, which we're adjusting, and we are changing it to a fixed value. And then what we need is cout.precision. So precision is the term for how many decimal places a decimal number will have, and we want to set it to 2. So now, anytime that I display a number that has a decimal, so a double value in the entire program, it will have 2 decimal places. So if I run this again, and if I go $1.37, you'll see that it does 152. So it takes off all of the additional decimal places for this. Now, we're going to add on one layer to this by applying a discount. So imagine you have a coupon and actually, you know what? We'll have the user enter the value for this. So double discount. So after the final price, I'll make an extra line here. Cout, what is your discount? And now we'll just assume that the user will be putting a decimal value or a percentage value here. So what we're going to do is we're going to cin discount. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take that discount off of the final price. Now, it does not matter if you do this before adding the tax or after adding the tax, because you can see that whatever change we make to price, it doesn't matter if we do it before the calculation or after the calculation, because whatever percentage will affect the end result. So here, what we need to do now is we have to change discount to something that we can use in our calculation. So to turn it into a percent, discount is going to get the value of discount divided by 100, which will turn it into a decimal. So hopefully they don't put a decimal value here, because that'll kind of mess things up. Now, what we want to do is, instead of increasing the price by a percentage, we want to decrease the price by a percentage. So price gets the value of price minus the price times the discount. So if they put in 20% here, and the value ended up being, say, like 100 or whatever, this would end up being 20. So I'd do 100 minus 20. And then we'll just display the price after the discount. So after discount, put a $sign here. And this is going to still be the price value. And then we'll end else. So let's take a look at what we get here. Okay, I'm going to go $412.35. So after tax, it's $457.71. Now I want to give myself a 20% discount on this. I'm going to punch in 20 and then hit enter. And then we know that this value should be a little bit smaller than the original. So that is a way that you would be increasing something by a percentage, decreasing something by another percentage, and also how you get the output to only have a specific amount of precision.